Now at 10, the heat and the humidity is going to be a big story as we go throughout the rest of the weekend, but in the short term, I'm watching severe thunderstorms trying to clip us. Latest on that coming up.
Plus, a mutual aid group in Joplin hosts a fundraiser for summer supplies. Also, we're going to take you to the Miami Senior Center for a summer shopping bash. And for the first time ever, the average price of gas nationwide has hit an unprecedented $5 a gallon. You're watching the KOAM News at 10, and it starts right now. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Chris Warner. We do have some severe weather rolling through the 4 states right now. We're going to join meteorologist Nick Kelly for the latest.
Well, quite a bit to get to in just in first weather alone, Chris. But first, let's look at where we stand right now. It's looking okay from 7th and range line, but popping up the numbers. 68 this morning. Hot and humid this afternoon with highs around 92. Heat indices easily pushing at least near 100 with all the humidity that's going to get locked in, not just for tomorrow, which explains why the heat advisories will be out again until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. But this is going to be a setup for a good portion of this week. In the short term, though, I'm watching a severe thunderstorm watch for areas west of 69 on the Kansas side until 1 a.m. But in the shortest term, that watch is out because of this cluster of storms that has a severe thunderstorm warning out for it right now until 10:45 for Greenwood, Elk, and clipping western parts of Wilson County. Moving to the southeast, we want to keep an eye on this. This will be moving towards Salt Springs, Howard, Fredonia, Longton, and Sycamore within the next 40 minutes or so. And a potent storm with this one, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible and some quarter-size hail. Very quick look at, if we can, these storms are going to be out of here as we go deep into the overnight. Dry tomorrow morning with lows around 74, but hot and humid tomorrow, Chris, with highs around 95. Again, we'll break down the numbers for the rest of the week here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Breaking news tonight out of Montgomery County. Officials with the Independence Police Department say they have captured 39-year-old Brian Metzger. He was caught after a brief pursuit. Police were searching for Metzger, saying he intentionally hit another man with a car and then left the scene just over a week ago. Metzger was wanted on a charge of attempted murder. Authorities did not release any additional details related to his capture. Well, Food Not Bombs is a mutual aid group in Joplin. It aims to help out the area's houseless community. Everything they supply comes from members of the group. As we approach summer, they're in need of more supplies. On Saturday, they held a fundraiser at the Old Broadway Club to be able to get those supplies, such as hydration packets, water, and other needs.
The money for the fundraiser will go toward buying summer supplies. It's just so important that the houseless community stay hydrated during the summer. We will buy the electrolyte packets just so there's no fatalities this summer from dehydration.
Anyone in attendance could also bring a bag of non-perishable food items to be entered into a drawing for a $50 gift card. In Miami, the 4 States Crafters Group held an event today for vendors at the Miami Senior Center. The goal is to give people in the community a chance to come together through shopping while giving vendors an opportunity to sell their goods. Some items there included custom clothes, jewelry, and sculptures. And the event had more than 15 vendors. And today marks the 10-year anniversary of 24 Fitness Gym. They are celebrating by having vendors there and giving people a chance to lift and hit personal marks in the bench press. The gym started out with 1 location in Carthage and has grown to 5 locations in Southwest Missouri.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's just literally all about setting a community standard and knowing that we're all here to help everyone, whether it's in the gym or just in day-to-day life. Like, we've all just got each other's backs. Stay tight.
I plan to open 2 more locations in 2023. Young anglers had the opportunity today to catch some fish and learn about fishing and conservation, and of course just have some fun at the 21st Annual Kids Fishing Day at Kellogg Lake in Carthage. Participants brought their own fishing equipment, but the Missouri Department of Conservation and Carthage Rotary provided refreshments and worms to everyone for free.
That's what this whole event is about, is giving the children an opportunity to find a lifetime event that they can participate in.
Anyone in Missouri can fish this weekend for free without a fishing license. Wednesday was World Oceans Day, but to help celebrate today, the Creative Learning Alliance Center in Joplin set up experiments and crafts for kids to learn about how to save the earth, keep water clean, and a whole lot more. The Creative Learning Alliance is excited to help kids learn hands-on and make it fun at the same time.
I get the enjoyment of watching the light bulb go on in a very real, hands-on way for kids in a very non-textbook, non-school feeling kind of way. So even though we love the learning that they do at school, we also love the learning that they do out in the world.
If you want to learn more about the Creative Learning Alliance, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Gas prices continue to climb across the nation, hitting another new record today. Still, the price surge at the pumps does not appear to be dampening demand. CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano has more.
U.S. consumers are feeling the squeeze well beyond the pumps. Inflation is driving costs up everywhere. Food prices are up 10%, energy 34%. The president has blamed corporate greed. And today in Los Angeles, Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine.
It's outrageous what the war in Ukraine is causing.
Inflation is at a 40-year high. The consumer price index has risen 8.6% from a year ago. Surging prices are not curbing summer getaway plans.
There are a lot of authentic pent-up needs.
80% of people in the U.S. are planning at least one summer trip, and sales of gas-guzzling RVs have jumped 14% this year. How would you describe consumers' mindsets right now?
I think they're mixed. Conflicted and questioning. So I think there's a lot of information out there that suggests that the economy is in dire straits, but then when they look at their own lives, that's not necessarily consistent with the messages that they're hearing.
When do you start seeing personal confidence decline?
It's going to be a tale of two economies. If you own a house, you have increased equity and you're feeling like you have greater wealth. If you don't own, just trying to find a place to rent right now has become much more difficult.
Although this is the first time nationwide that gas prices hit $5 a gallon, that's not a record. Back in 2008, the price went up to the equivalent of $5.40 when you adjust for inflation. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Los Angeles.
We take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Sergeant Ted Watts served in the Army from 1965 to 1972, his hometown, Oswego. We're proud to recognize Sergeant Ted Watts, tonight's four-state hero. And of course, to learn more about our other heroes or nominate one of your own at any time, you can do that at KOAMnewsnow.com. Up next, in Norway, if you're stuck on a name for your new baby, you can take it to the bank that IKEA can help.
It's the
We have quite a bit to track as we go through the late night. Before we see what might come for some, let's see how everybody's been throughout the course of the evening, because our live shot of Indigo Sky outside of Seneca, Missouri, this has been the quiet look that we've all seen throughout the course of the evening. But a lot of cloud cover has been building in from the north. That's because of a cluster of storms trying to impact parts of our western counties. That's why the severe thunderstorm watch is out in the orange, mainly on the southeast Kansas side until 1 a.m. going into your Sunday. And that's because of this cluster of storms that fired up fast late this afternoon, early this evening along the Kansas-Nebraska line, plowing south and along the journey. We've had a couple tornado touchdowns. We've had some wind gusts pushing 70 to almost 75 miles per hour. Not to mention some sizable hail, almost tennis ball size as the storms were at their strongest north and west of the turnpike. Everybody else has been sitting mainly quiet. These radar echoes north of Pittsburgh, north of Nevada, mainly picking up on the moisture up in the clouds. But has my sole focus as we go through the next few hours. This severe thunderstorm warning for southern Greenwood, northern Elk, western Wilson until we hit 10:45, and this is a storm capable of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail. Still watching to see if we get any potential for maybe a quick low-level rotation that probably try to spin down to produce a tornado. Not seeing that at the moment, but along this journey toward the south and southeast at 45, we'll have this near Fredonia at 10:39, Longton by 10:41, Neodesha close to it by 10:56, and then Independence and Drum Creek once we get past 11 o'clock. Once that exits the picture, Look what everybody has to deal with tomorrow. Heat advisories, because we are definitely going to stay hot and humid tomorrow. Those heat advisories, by the way, expiring by about 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. 10:19 from 7th and Rangeline. It's quiet, but it's warm and muggy. 81 degrees, feels like 87 with the dew point still in the mid-70s. It's the same across the entire area. Upper 70s to lower 80s across the board. You factor in the humidity, it feels like the mid 80s to about 90 degrees still. And even if some of you get underneath these thunderstorms, it is not going to scrub out the heat and humidity. Additional storms that we're seeing across northern parts of Missouri, I think that's going to miss our region and be an issue along the I-70 corridor in central parts of Missouri. Here's a warm front that's going to try and sweep on through to help aid in increasing the heat and humidity once again, along with this upper level ridge. That's going to take over not just for tomorrow, but throughout much of the coming week. But in the short term, again, I'll focus on those storms out west because it'll still have a low severe threat. I think until they either move out or fall apart by 2 a.m. Wind and hail and heavy rain. I think that's going to be the biggest issue with this cluster of storms as it passes on through. But as we go into the early morning hours before 2 or 3 a.m., these storms are either going to completely move out or fall apart along the journey. That's going to lead us to a quiet start to your Sunday morning, especially by sunrise. But we'll be in the lower to middle 70s to start the morning out, and with returning sunshine, a lot of humidity, we are not going to scrub out the heat and humidity. 74 in the morning, 89 by noon, highs near 95. We'll take a quick look at tomorrow night, dropping back into the upper 70s, and then we're right back into the 90s again with partly to mostly sunny skies on Monday. And the humidity, that's going to be a big factor to watch as well, because tomorrow it could feel like 103 to almost 110 in some spots. Not much relief going through Sunday night and Monday morning, and then we're right back at least into the triple digits as we go throughout our Monday with highs around 94. 93 on Tuesday, a little bit of a weakness in this building ridge, but still it's going to keep us in the lower 90s for much of the week, Chris, and some warm and muggy nights too. Maybe a stray storm or two Thursday and Friday, but heat and humidity, it will be on this week.
Get through these storms tonight, as you just mentioned, that heat and humidity is something we're going to have to watch. So, Nick, thank you so much. Turning to sports, Joplin Outlaws are in the middle of their first road trip of the season.
Facing Chillicothe tonight, we have those details. Plus, Redbirds baseball aims to improve to a 2-0 start in pool play. Those highlights next. Pittsburgh Post 64 and Redbirds baseball meet today in pool play. It's both teams' second game of the tournament. The Redbirds are 1-0 in pool play. The Patriots tied in their first game. Cooper Hamlin, really good behind the dish, gets the runner out at second for the third out. Then he picks off another at first, but the Redbirds get a few in the fourth. Christian Brock grounds out to the shortstop. Gage Chapman scores from third to extend the lead. Later in the sixth, Eli Miller hammers it deep to right center. That's a triple. Sam Weller brings him in. He smacks it out to right. Miller scores and the Redbirds top the Patriots 5-1. The Joplin Outlaws are facing Chillicothe on the road today. What a start for Joplin. By the middle of the second, the Outlaws lead 6-1. The Mudcats, though, come back to tie it at 6 in the third. That's all the baseball they will play tonight. The weather suspends the game. They will finish it the next time these two teams meet, which is in Joplin in the middle of July. Arkansas meets North Carolina in the Division I Baseball Championship Super Regional. Game 1 here, Connor Nolan locked in today. He tosses 6 2/3 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts. Then the first run of the game comes in the 5th. Peyton Stovall goes deep over the fence in right center. That's a solo shot. Then Brady Slavens lifts it to center for a base knock. Zach Gregory scores. Arkansas leads 2-0. 7th inning now, Slavens again gets it through. Braden Webb, he'll be out at third, but Gregory comes home to score. Arkansas takes down UNC 4-1 for the series lead. The Sooners also still alive in the postseason. Oklahoma facing Virginia Tech in the Super Regional. Sooners won Game 1, but today Virginia Tech evens the series up, winning 14-8. A decisive Game 3 will be played tomorrow at noon. The St. Louis Cardinals snapped a 3-game losing streak on Friday in their series opener against the Reds. The Cards won that one 2-0. They're back in action tonight looking for back-to-back wins. No score in the third. Tommy Pham rips a double down the line. 2 runners score. And a few batters later, Kyle Farmer lines one to left. Reds lead 3-0. In the 8th, Cardinals down by 3. Tyler O'Neill smacks it in the gap in center. That cuts the Reds' lead to 1. And then St. Louis down to its final out here with 1 runner on. Tommy Edman comes up big. That ball is gone. Walk-off 2-run shot for Edman, his first career walk-off homer. Cardinals win 5-4. Kansas City looking for their 4th straight win tonight. Baltimore spoils that. Orioles win 6-4. Series finale is tomorrow at 1:10. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Uber has released its annual Lost and Found Index, and it includes everything from tater tots to grandma's teeth. The most common items that are left behind by rideshare passengers include phones, wallets, keys, and ordinary items carried in their pockets, but the bizarre things left behind do include tater tots, caviar, a pet tortoise, and a bucket of slime, just to name a few. The most forgetful passengers live in Austin, Texas, but Phoenix and Atlanta also made that list. Uber releases the list every year to remind its customers that they can use their app to get their lost and found items back. The cost is $15 to cover the driver's time and effort, and of course, rideshare passengers will have to decide if those left behind tater tots are worth it. Something I was discussing is it depends on how old those left behind tater tots are.
Not to mention some wine left behind, a pie, I think it was some pizza.
I hope the tortoise gets returned. That's the one I'm concerned about.
That's going to be the one they're going to be like, I'll take the tater tots, but you can keep the tortoise. That's fine. That's all right. We're fine with that. Nick, we do have some storms rolling through a little bit slow like a tortoise.
Yeah, for our western counties for the time being, but once we get past 1, 2, 3 a.m., those storms will be pretty much done. Then it's all about the heat and humidity. Even if you get any of the storms overnight, it's not going to scrub things out. We'll be back to 95 with heat indices between 105 and potentially 110 tomorrow.
Nick, thank you. Danny, final check-in sports.
Red Birds baseball, tongue-tied a little. They beat Pittsburgh Post 64 today. Both teams will play in consolation games tomorrow.
All right, guys, thank you. It's our time for now. We're back here tomorrow night, and thank you so much for making us part of your night.